Guys, the Super Review Show for another episode of Rock Talk. This is the show where I break down albums that have anniversaries or the album is just that good. You should definitely check out this album. And today, April 14th, 2023, marks the 40th anniversary of David Bowie's, one of his best albums, truthfully, David Bowie's Let's Dance. This album has turned 40 as of today, April 14th, 2023. Now, for those of you who are probably saying, oh, I've heard of David Bowie. Love him. He's great. He sadly passed away in 2016. Rip to one of the greats of all, one of the best of all time. One of the GOATs, one of the best. He was one of the best to ever do it. This album was his attempt to make a pop album, and it really worked out in his favor. He had a lot of really big hits on it with like Let's Dance, Modern Love. I'll get to the track listing in one sec. But he was coming off in this. You have to break down his career like this. 70s Bowie was like 70s Bowie was very much like I'm coming out of of Space Oddity, of Changes, of Ziggy Stardust. He really was coming off of 70s Bowie was very different than 80s Bowie. He's he talked to Nile Rodgers of all people from Chic, and he's like, hey, I want to try and make a pop album. I want to make an album that has, dance ability to it and fun and pop music. And I want to try and make something like that and a new wave, not necessarily new, but just a pop album. And yes, this show is called Rock Talk, but David Bowie was still one of those pioneers that one of the best explanations I've ever heard about his music, one of the best explanations I've ever heard about David Bowie's music was, believe it or not, from a movie talk show called Movie Talk. It was AMC. It was Collider. It was the lead host, John Campea. I love you. You're incredible. You're my inspiration for why I do this. He once said the words, every album of David Bowie's career was a different corner of a different room of a different floor of this musical house that he built over his career. You can't get any more nailed on the head than that. That's true. And this is a testament of that, because before this was, I don't remember this specific album before this, but before this was Heroes, very different sounding record. Before that was even Ziggy Stardust, more guitar driven. He was a legendary pioneer of an artist, and he is forever missed. He's one of the best to ever do it. But let's get into the track listing. It's just a little backstory right there. But track listing, here we go. We have Modern Love. Great opener, great song. It's incredible. China Girl, great pop song. Let's Dance, da da. It gets you in the mood to dance like that. Let's Dance, great song. Without You, great closer to side one. Ricochet, Criminal World, Cat People, Putting Out the Fire, and Shake It. That's the side two. This album sold like wildfire back in the early '80s. Because, look at the cover too. Let's look at that for a sec, right? Phenomenal. Him with the boxing gloves, produced by Bob Clearmountain, who was one of the big producers of the '80s. Truthfully, it says right here in the back. This actually has writing on the back. I'll show you guys that too. When I bought the vinyl, it just came. I prefer vinyl that looks like that, truthfully, because it shows its age. It's not brand new. I like that personally, but that's me. But Let's Dance, it was his attempt to make a pop album, and he truthfully succeeded. He did a really good job with this. But the two biggest hit singles were Modern Love and Let's Dance. The two tracks there were played on the radio consistently. They still are to some extent, actually. But it's funny, actually. When you put on this record, plug for Instagram, by the way. We are on Instagram at the Super Review Show. This album, it opens up. You would think it would. For the longest time, I thought it would open up with "Let's Dance," the title track, but it turns out it opens the album. I did not know this until I got it and played it and showed it on our Instagram. The album opens up with "Modern Love." I didn't realize that until I listened to it. I'm like, oh my god, that's a perfect opener. I didn't realize how that it opened up with that track listing until I listened to it. I was like, oh my god, why did it opens up with that? Really? No way. The more you know. Bowie left us way too soon, and this is an album that if you're watching this today to celebrate the album Let's Dance and celebrate his career, however you celebrate music, or just like certain artists, hate certain artists, however you appreciate music, this is one to appreciate. From Nile Rodgers' production with David Bowie. It was produced by Bowie and Nile Rodgers together. And Bob Clearmountain mixed it and engineered it. Look him up if you haven't looked up Bob Clearmountain. He did a lot of stuff in the 80s. I don't know if he's still alive, but I do know he did a lot. So there, yeah, just check out Bob Clearmountain and what he's produced. So check him out too. But bottom line, guys, what do you think? Happy 40th, yes, 40th anniversary of David Bowie's Let's Dance. Are you a fan of David Bowie out there? Jump down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts on this video. Share your thoughts on David Bowie. Whatever you want to do in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts. But for all of your Rock Talk episodes and many more, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. The J-Man is off to rock. And let's dance.